I think it's funny that James Tynion, the Batman writer, writes a bunch of stuff. Batman is, the biggest thing he does. Um, I was going to start reading them in trade, but I'm kind of annoyed with him because of the way he came out against Warren Ellis during this stupid, so many of us non-traversy. Um, excuse me, where a bunch of Warren Ellis's old groupies got mad and started complaining about the way he would love them and leave them. He was basically doing pickup artist tactics on them, and they thought they should be more important to him than just hookups or flings. In a lot of cases, he wasn't even sleeping with these women. It was just you know sexting and I guess promises of work that didn't materialize or didn't continue. I don't know. So it's funny though for Tinian to go, I'm leaving social media because it's awful and it's literally destroying the world. Well, you helped be a part of that, asshole. But I absolutely do agree with him. And I don't know if Substack is sustainable for a lot of these writers that that Substack is signing up to have subscription services or blogs with them. But I don't know if that's really important. I think it's good that a lot of these writers are going to Substack despite or because of social media and the way that a lot of people on Twitter are acting as if Substack is the worst thing in the world because people they don't agree with are on there as well. There's always going to be stuff like this in the background, but whatever. But what was I saying? Oh, so I guess they don't like Glenn Greenwald, and I'm not a huge fan of Greenwald these days either. But it's like if since Substack has Greenwald on their platform, they support transphobes and racists and Nazis or whatever, whatever complaint that they have. But it's like every platform hosts assholes. At least the people on Substack are actually getting paid for it. And you can't scrub away all the bad things. Unfortunately, you just can't do it. And it's these people who are doing this are just trying to control the situation. They want to take minor things and blow it up. It's not even to get too much into the trans sort of discourse on social media. It is rather absurd and ridiculous that every time a show, if a work of fiction, a piece of fiction comes out that has anything to do with gender, these weirdos who are super obsessed about it start making a big stink. Like, Why the Last Man? If I was the producer of Why the Last Man, I'd be like, look, we have a very clear storyline, very clear plot. We're not pandering to social media discourse. The show is about how these people are reacting regarding this one dude who's left and this one monkey. We don't give a shit about exploring gender identity or anything like that. That's not what we're doing here. And if they do, maybe, in the future we'll have a storyline featuring, a trans man character or something. But that's not the issue. That's such a small segment of the population. You can't cover everything. If you have a focused story. Now, the thing about Why Last Man, I only read, like I said in a previous video, 2 or 3 volumes, and I was not a fan. So I was watching Perch talk about it recently, and he was saying that he's a fan of it, and that I guess thinks it gets better at some point. I don't care enough about it. Actually, like I said, I hate Uric, so I don't really give a shit. But anyway, not to get into that too much, but it just seems like everything is, social media has a very skewed vision or argument about a lot of things in society, things that most people don't care about. Most people who would watch Why the Last Man doesn't give a shit about gender theory or anything like that. They're just going to watch the show with a very basic premise. That's it. They don't care about all this other stuff. And this idea that it's the end of the world or these people are bad people if they don't get into that is ridiculous. I mean, it's fine for them to complain, but there's a presumption that they have to be catered to. They have to be like the producer has to explain himself instead of just saying, "Look, this is just the plot of the story." All the gender discourse, that's something that y'all can do on social media. But our story is very clearly about this. That's it. You can enjoy the story on this very simple surface term. This is not a college course on gender terms and pronouns or anything. It's really just about this last guy with a Y chromosome, his stupid ass monkey. But anyway, I'm saying this because when Tinian's blog came out, I saw your boy Zach talk about this. He was talking. He read portions of the blog where Tinian was saying, social media is terrible and harmful, and it really is. It's completely. It gives a lot of people, well, it gives maybe a small group of people this outlet to vent their mental instability and their emotional trauma and issues. So like I said, they take the smallest thing and they lose their fucking mind. If a woman is attractive, they go nuts. If a established character, it could be 30 years that actual comic book fans have invested time and love for or whatever, like your boy Tim Drake. If a character like that out of nowhere, because he's named Robin, gets switched to bisexual, which bisexual means gay in the comic book parlance, but no. So if they see somebody like Tim Drake come out, be turned gay, they'll lose their shit and be like, yes, oh my God, I was crying nonstop. I can't believe it. I'm finally being seen. And it's like they don't have any connection to the character at all. They just say, oh, they're going to say this character is gay now. And they're just fine with that. Like these idiots on social media, these morons on Twitter are just happy with a character that they've known 30 years was never gay. And all of a sudden he's gay. And they're just like, oh, that's great. And like, I've said this before, but like I'm black, and if I see, they talking about they're gonna make this black Superman movie, that doesn't make me feel anything. I don't feel like, oh my God, yes, Superman is black. It's all, the world is better now. I'm nonstop crying because Superman is a black man now. It just feels like you just painted a really cool car a different color. It doesn't do anything for me. It just makes it worse now because I've already identified with this stupid ass car, as one color. Now you changed the color. It's like, what the fuck? But so I was saying that because they'll say it's great that you take a character that was never gay and turn him gay. Like I think that idiot Heather Antos was saying that it's called progression. People don't progress into turning gay. They don't progress by changing their sexuality. There was never any hint of it. It's not like, whatever. I'm not gonna give it to it. But the same people who are happy about Tim Drake being forced gay, like his creator didn't turn him gay. The person who created Tim Drake didn't say he was gay. And he didn't come along years later and say, you know what, he's always been gay. I never want to tell you that. I was afraid for that. But now, in this new brave, stunning, new brave world, I want Tim Drake to be gay. Alright, so they're happy about that. But Nami from One Piece, she started out like, I'm only on, I don't know how many volumes, 5, 6, I'm not in that many volumes. I've been reading them on Viz, online, whatever, and it's good so far. It's not, I don't know why people love it so much. Perch was recently talking about it, and I had read like 3 volumes a couple of months ago and stopped because I wasn't thinking about it, and he was talking about it recently, so I've decided to try to give it, push to like the first 10 volumes to see if it actually gets better. But like I said, it's good now, but it's just not, I don't see why people call it the greatest thing since sliced bread. But anyway, so Nami, right now in the volumes that I'm reading, Nami is slim and, she has small boobs. She's small bust. which is fine. There's no problem with that. I'm just saying, but I know at some point her boobs get bigger. I don't know why or how, but they do. And I saw someone on YouTube was talking about a tweet where a person showed the changes in her art, in Nami's look, rather. You know, the artwork from the beginning to, I guess, now. And Nami's boobs have gotten bigger and bigger. And this was like, this is sick. The person was really upset about it. And I'm like, that same asshole would be like, yes, finally, Tim Drake is gay. They turned him gay, finally. But Nami getting bigger boobs, this is sick. This is disgusting. You know, it's the same character. If that's Oda, the artist, if he did that, it's his character. So he wants to have bigger boobs. He can have bigger boobs. And it's not sick. Boobs are not sick. Now, maybe the guy's saying that because he's gay and he hates boobs. I don't know. But anyway, yes, social media is a mess. And Tinian's right to leave it. Even though, like I said, he's part of the problem. But him saying that brought me back to the Schreier thread, where he's pointing out, and I think he's just, basically lobbing a grenade for other people to jump on these guys at this studio. And it reminded me, well, first, one of the things that was funny is when I came back to look at this tweet and see, I wanted to screen cap it again because I deleted it. But I also wanted to make a comment about, I wanted to read a quote tweet, something Sean Gordon Murphy said, again, speaking of Perch. But I said I'll just actually show that clip from Perch where Sean Gordon Murphy talks about, well, we'll get into that. But what was funny about this, he's talking about, it's pretty wild that in 2021, a new game studio still looks like this. All these white guys. Now, some of these people could be gay. It doesn't matter. But I was thinking, and I thought this originally, even before the first video I didn't say anything about it, but maybe these are all the people who literally signed up for the job, who literally sent in their resumes. Maybe these are the only people who did. Like I said, they worked with a bunch of these guys already. They got new people who were probably recommended to them, maybe from Tencent, or who were the only ones who signed up for the job, who knew where to go to sign up for the job. But I'll get more into that when we talk about Sean Gordon Murphy's clip in Perch's video. So anyway, this is what I thought was really hilarious about this. So he's the moral arbiter on diversity hires for other companies. Then he goes, back in the day, I used to have a podcast that was just two dudes. That's questionable. It was good. Then we added a woman. It got exponentially better. Turns out different perspectives improve your product. In other words, anyone who responds with all that matters is game quality is getting blocked. So this fucking idiot walked into a hornet's nest. He's talking about how we added a woman. Then he goes, of course we didn't add Maddie because she's a woman. We added her because she's a great podcaster, which is inextricable from her identity. I don't give a shit about this other part. So, first he says, we added a woman. Like, we was just two dudes, and we added a woman, for a different perspective. Then he goes, well, we didn't add her because she's a woman. So which the fuck is it? Did you add her because she was a woman? Or did you add her because she was a good podcaster? Let me see. I'm trying to look for these replies. Some of this stuff I didn't even know anything about. Apparently Schreier knew about the sexual harassment going on at Blizzard. Somebody showed the tweet. I don't know if I can find it now. Oh, here's one of them. So you were fully aware of what was going on, but didn't report anything until after that story broke. Yeah, he says here, truth is, I've heard several stories about sexism and sexual misconduct at Blizzard over the past few years. Needless to say, we'll be reporting more on this. If you work or worked at Blizzard and would like to share your story confidentially, why didn't he do this before? If he heard this, why didn't he do this? He's basically whining and complaining about people on YouTube and shit. He could have been doing this. Okay, I think this is the one. So you didn't hire her because she was a woman, which is good. But if I'm correct, with all due respect, if Maddie was a guy called Matt with the exact same skills and opinions, the podcast would have still gotten better. So maybe all these guys were hired because of their skill. That wasn't the one. That was another one. I think this was probably it. Yeah, this is the one, actually. You say you added a woman to the podcast for being a brilliant mind, yet you demand a company add women because they're women. You never cared about women. You never did. You withholding information about the crap at Activision Blizzard proves that. So you're saying diversity of experience is more important than diversity of race and gender? This makes sense. Do you know everyone's background of the photo you posted? How would you rate the diversity of a studio based in Japan? Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, the thing is, it's easy when you see a picture of a bunch of white dudes and go like, man, all they did was hire white dudes. But this is the tech industry, and there's not a lot of women in it. Well, not a lot of women in tech, anyway. There's, I'm not an expert on this, so I won't say too much, but there's a strong possibility, like I said, that the only people who knew about this, who were searching for this kind of thing, were men. And, well, let's get into the Sean Gordon Murphy clip that I was talking about. This I just thought was funny after I thought about Tinian leaving social media. And then going back to Schreier and seeing how, how muddled it all is. Because on the one hand, he's like, I can't believe this is going on in 2021. And on the other hand, he's like, we added a woman and made our podcast better when it was just two dudes. And then it goes, oh, well, actually, we didn't add her because she was a woman. We added her because she was good at her job. So it still matters. So all that matters is the quality. But it's funny that he wanted to block people because SJWs don't want to have a discussion because, once you get into the hairiness of the situation, you have to concede that you can't just go by this picture and be like, these are bad people and we should all pile on them, But anyway, like I said, let us go on to, what the hell is it? What am I trying to do? Oh, let us go on to Sean Gordon Murphy.
Just like the dollar, a currency is literally something we use to attribute value to a good or service. In social media, these likes, the comments, the shares, they've become this form of social currency by which we attribute value to something.
Anything else?
All right, so this is this
really
Gordon Murphy
having this chat with you and
story that I wanted to
always believe in.
Yeah, no, I guess the one story I did want to tell was the first time. I feel very lucky that I got a taste of what was coming on social media very early on. I had this apprenticeship that I did where I took it. This is like 5 or 6 years ago. I wanted to do an anthology. I got 5 students to pay me a fee. They lived at my house. They stayed with us. My wife cooked for them. We all became friends. And I vetted them too, so I didn't get any, child molesters in there or anything like that. Like, I was very careful. And we put this anthology together called Cafe Racer. If you go on eBay, you might be able to find some. I'm all sold out. And then they took these copies and they sold them at shows and they made all their money back. So it was win-win-win. I got to make this house I bought as a write-off because I basically turned it into a school. I made money and I was able to furnish the house with the money that the students gave me. They made their money back. And, I took all of them and did everything I could to help them get into, to mentor them and to get them into comics, and take them to shows and whatever. And I'm still friends with most of them right now.
All of this sounds really cool. If I was an artist, I would probably try to sign up for something like that.
Right now. I started to do round 2, and I got 70 submissions from straight white guys. And Twitter wasn't as hot as it is now.
But Schreier definitely.
How it would be problematic, quote unquote, when this,
You
when
see,
we take
this
photos
is a Schreier
and
thing all over again.
5 white guys. So I was going online. I'm like, women, I need you to apply. I need, I didn't want to say I need black people because it didn't feel comfortable, but I did want to say I need diverse people to qualify to send me their stuff. And in my head, I was willing to take any woman who gave me any. I don't care how good or bad you were. I just needed the balance.
You see, that's what's so funny about that. That's what, when you have people like, you hire people like Heather Antos and all these other crappy editors that Marvel's been hiring or had been hiring the past few years, the ones who are big online, the ones who are constantly yelling at the fans, customers about how bad they are and how hateful they are because they want to see attractive women and they want the men to act like men, traditionally masculine, heroic men, as opposed to going, oh, every time they're fighting or letting themselves get shit on by the women. In real life, women don't like men who are like weak and wimpy and whiny. But in fiction now, in heroic fiction especially, the wimpier and stupider the guy is, the better, because the only way they know how to pump up the women is by degrading the men. So I just think it's funny, though, because it's important to get ahead of any kind of criticism of sexism or racism. He's just going to take anybody. So there's a spot for 5 people to go to his home for a few weeks to recreate what he had done successfully the first time. This time, he's got to add 1 woman, no matter how bad she is. So now, she's probably not going to make her money back, and it's probably going to be a bad experience for her. So she's going to think that, or say, it's going to come out if she joined them. If there was 1 woman who joined these 4 other guys, 4 other guys got successful, got something out of it, and she didn't, she would say she wasn't mentored enough, or she didn't feel like she was given the proper attention the way the other guys were, or the other guys were all had a better communication with each other, and she felt like the odd man out, so to speak.
My class, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And because I was doing that, I ended up on a private Facebook chat room where people thought I was some kind of weird sexual predator. And there were people in comics. Most of them didn't know me, but a few did. And they were like, "Who's this weird guy who lives in Maine who's trying to get women to live with him and his wife for the sake of comics?" Like, I get it. When I say it like that, yeah, it's kind of fucking creepy. So no one, a few of my, well, we're not friends anymore. A few women I knew were on that group and saw this happen and didn't say anything to me. So thanks, ladies. Someone eventually did let me know, and one of my students, she heard about it too, and she went on to this chat room to defend me and say, "Sean's not that guy. His wife's there the whole time. He's just trying to help, like, leave him alone," type thing. And of course, they start attacking her. So it started to flare up a little bit on Twitter, and I talked to my wife about it, and I'm like, we're at the beginning of something bad here. I don't know what to do. So I call my lawyer, and
I just think it's so funny how, the best, not the best laid plan, this is the road to hell. It's paved with good intentions. So, I mean, he also wanted to make money off of it because he did it before, but I also think he did want to help. And, I think where he went wrong, it's so funny, there's nothing you could do. You're damned if you do, damned if you don't, because I was going to say where he went wrong was in trying to, like, not virtue signal, but trying to do forced diversity, which I always hated that, I'm a recovering SJW, although I didn't realize at the time that what I thought of as an SJW isn't really an SJW. Like I said, I'm lefty or whatever, but, I would hate when people say forced. What the fuck does it mean, forced diversity? You do need to give opportunities to people who are talented, whether they're black or women. You don't just always hire white guys. And a lot of times, these white guys you're hiring, they're not great anyway. They're failing upward. They're incompetent, but you keep giving them jobs. When there's perfectly talented black women and black men out there who could get these jobs, or any race. That's how I always saw it. In this case, he's, put out, I guess, feelers for people to do this mentorship program. 70 straight dudes, or he assumed they're all straight. 70 white guys sent in applications. So he needed to get a woman because he knew it would look bad if it was just him and 5 white guys in the picture saying, "I'm at my house for the big Sean Gordon Murphy blowout artist mentorship program. This is the new X Mansion," or whatever. And he didn't want Jason Schreier to say it's wild in 2012 to have whatever year this was in, to see a picture like this. Sean Gordon Murphy needs to do better. Pile on him, guys. So to try to get ahead of that, he, I guess went on social media asking for women, to sign up. And then, of course, you got people who are supposedly his friends and people in industry. You get together in a little sewing circle and start going, why in the hell is he asking for these young women to join him in his house? It's going to be him and his wife. This sounds really shady to me. Very suspect. They're going to do all kinds of horrible things to those women. So it's like, it would be better if he just took the picture of him, the white guys, and let people pile on him for that. And it's funny because he could have said, hey, these are the only people who signed up for this, or, so I just picked from that pool. But you know what they would have said, because this happened before. I can't remember. Something on Twitter or some kind of program where a bunch of people signed up for something. It was all guys. And when they showed the guys that were working with, whoever this company was, I can't remember if it was comic book art or something, people attacked them. And the guy said, these are the people who signed up for this. And I just picked from this pool. That's all they had. And they basically just told them, you needed to search, far and wide for it. They never accept that there's not enough money or time to do that. The thing is, I'm telling you, I'm offering the invitation. I'm not going to go searching the world. Like, if these people answer it, they answer it. I'm not going to go searching around the world telling people, you need to do this. You need to sign up for this. Black people, if black people are not doing it, do you travel? I got to go find everywhere. They always mock that and say, you didn't try hard enough. It's like, look, I put it out there. These people are the ones who found it and answered me. And it would stand to reason if these people, took the time to find this and to apply to it, then those are the people I should pick. I shouldn't have to go out of my way to just get other people who, like, if they didn't care that when I put it out without any pressure, why should they care when I pressure them? Because look what happens. Sean Gordon Murphy says, all right, women, I need you to sign up for this. Why is he trying to get women to go live in his house? You're completely ignoring what he's talking about. And then these people, they have mental problems. They're morons. So they're not stopping to think, well, it's good that he's giving opportunities to women as well. They're not looking at it, well, he's also having men come there too. But that's the thing. If he only picked one woman out of 4 men, 1 woman, maybe 3 men, 2 women, the women would probably have said, we didn't feel comfortable. Or at least one of the 2 would have said, I didn't feel comfortable. I didn't vibe with the other people, and I didn't get the same attention as anybody else.
Not that it matters. She's a woman, but I guess it does. And she's great. She's a friend. She used to work for Jim Henson Studios. I told her all this. She's like, well, you need to shut the school down. And I go, why? I really want to help people. She goes, that's nice, but you have this Netflix deal coming. And people with Netflix deals don't have 5 strangers stay with them for 2 weeks, which is a good point.
Yeah.
She also said, you're in a house in a city, you're not zoned as a school, so I don't know if the city knows you're there, and if there's a slip and fall lawsuit, or what if one day one of your students does attack another student? Like, there's just a lot for you to lose here. And the way that this woman's group, it was all women, were attacking me.
Of course it was.
Just, take it as a nice indicator of, it's a gentle reminder of kind of what you'll be looking at if you in the future. So I was like, but Lillian, I'm not that guy. Like, I really wanted to help. Like, I'm being a good liberal. I'm trying to help women here, and I'm just getting attacked for trying to help. Like, this fucking sucks. Are you kidding me? Like, I'm trying to do things to help women, and these women are slapping my hand and calling me names. Like, this. All right, happy ladies, I'm gonna shut it down. Now I'm not helping anybody. Is this what you wanted? And it took me a while to get over that story, but if you dissect that, you can see how that's a very helpful lesson for how what Twitter eventually became, as far as attacking people, trying to dunk on them, assuming the worst, all that stuff. So I think this past year, when I kept running into these small dramas, I think back to my apprenticeship and what my lawyer said, and I just do risk assessment. I think that was what was the nail in the coffin for me. Is like, I really want to help. I want to be on Twitter. I want to talk to readers. I like to give advice and weigh in on these things. But if my help isn't appreciated, if I'm going to be attacked, then I'm going to leave.
All right, so I think I can stop it there. I think that this is really good video. I'll link it in the description box below. But more people have seen this than seen any of my videos. So, but I still, credit where credit's due and all of that. Yeah, I just thought this was so telling and so obvious. Like, great films are made, great comedy films are made on things like this, in a situation where you're trying to do good and you're trying to, but at the same time, you also know that you have to be good a certain way. So it's not enough to just say, hey, I'm helping out 5 artists. These are the people who applied, so I'm helping them. The thing is, you can't just do that, because if you take a picture, it's a bunch of white guys. They're going to, people, especially in social media, they're going to say, this is racist, this is sexist, and they're going to sit there and mock all the people who are there as all these individual people who are there to say, hey, all I did was sign up. I'm an artist. I'm looking for my opportunities. I found an opportunity to be involved with something I like. All of a sudden now it's nefarious because it's 5 white guys playing, together. So it's so it's like all of a sudden, they're going to start a KKK rally because it's 5 of them who love art. Like, that's the thing. So yeah, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't, because I think the best way forward, and I'm not like a celebrity or anything. I'm not making money as an artist in any way, at least not yet. But I think that whatever project I would do, I think I would just take the hits. That's the only thing you could do. You just ignore these people, be offline, do your thing, and then let people like Jason Schreier virtue signal, and then dig a hole for themselves when they try to explain that we added a woman to our podcast and made it better. Well, of course we didn't add her because she was a woman. We did it because she had talent. But I just told everybody that if you say it doesn't matter if you're a man or woman, it matters if you have talent, I'd block you. So I look like a fucking idiot now. Take care.